Good morning, Internet family. Small family at present that has found their way to this channel, and that's just beautiful. Um, I do this stuff for one person. In fact, for about 3 years, I was doing it for one person. Uh, my co-author Jeff. Um, he thought we were writing a book together, and we were. But really, I just wanted him personally to hear what I had to say. So that's why I did the book with him. The book is How to Think Impossibly with a subtitle. Um, I've never told Jeff this. Um, and he doesn't watch my videos because he doesn't have the time. So he may never find out. Isn't that funny? Uh, Jeff doesn't have time because he's one of the most amazing people ever born. I'll stand by that anytime. He calls himself a spiritual dud. He said it a dozen times, 100 times. He says it everywhere. And that is just the most silly statement I have ever heard. Jeff has opened the door for people around the world that would never have been opened without him. Now, if that's not being spiritual, I don't know what is. Now, of course, what Jeff probably is thinking about, in our Western culture, Eastern cultures too, maybe not as much. Hard to say. I can't speak for the whole world. I can speak for one person. You want to know who that is? Yeah, you know. You know the answer, but I'll say it. It's me. I can speak for me. So people want spiritual experiences. And I understand that. We're living in a grim world. Now, I'm not making any psychic predictions about it or anything, but we might have less than 300 years left as a species. Now, by that I mean we may all be more machine than man in 300 years. I mean, anyone can see that's where it's headed. Or, of course, the old tired trope, but it's not an old tired trope. AI might consume us, you know. That's species have a certain length of time that they're on a planet, and then they go extinct. And humans are not exempt from that. I know humans think they're so awfully special, but awfully special species go extinct every day. I forget the number. It's quite a number. We're killing all these species every day, and we'll be the last ones we kill. Isn't this also cheerful? And it's so terribly off topic. Um, if you want to watch one of my videos with a specific topic, I'd recommend that you be very flexible about what you actually are willing to listen to. As I go off the beaten track constantly, I don't like serialized information processing. I like it all to hit me at once. Which does, I guess, go back to the topic. Okay, fine. I am a mentor. This is a next one in the series of I am not a spiritual teacher. And I think I went over that pretty well. I don't want a poobah hat, and I don't want all the hassle. Um, I don't want to control anyone's life. I don't want to live their life for them. I can't. I can't live the life of one other soul, though, of course, souls, that's quite a topic, but um, consider it a metaphor. And yeah, that's a quote from Illusions by Richard Bach. A story about a very reluctant Messiah. Now you think, oh, Kevin thinks he's a Messiah. No, I don't. I'm not a Messiah, however our Jewish brothers and sisters say it. Yeah, no. People don't need saving anyway, at least from the perspective of Platonic Surrealism. Platonic Surrealism says we're all in movies. Movies that we ourselves, in a sense, are creating, and then we're living through it. Now, I know the question is always, well, why am I in such a shitty movie? All this suffering and death and insanity. Yeah, we're seeing some of the worst insanity there's ever been on the planet, in America anyway, right now. And as this is not a political channel, I won't say what form that insanity is taking. Nope, won't say. But, the insanity is part of the movie. And, there's some people that say, oh, we gave permission for the suffering before this life. Well, in a sense, that's kind of true. Uh, Anyone here had their fingers in the making of the movie before time even began here? We all gave our little inputs, and there was like a trillion people that wanted to be president or king or emperor or pop movie star or to have a harem or whatever they wanted. But all those movie roles were extremely limited, and there weren't very many people that got their way. But everybody got input. And then, you know, let's say you only had one drop of input. Let's say there was a trillion different monads, the creators of all this, so to speak, the storytellers. Um, and I got to swing back to that to nod to our evolution proposing and believing brothers, and they're right too. Of course, evolution is a thing. You'd think I'm a creationist the way I talk. No, no, not really. It's a little complicated. But yeah, I guess for the sake of having a puppy and being in love, these things, that sort of thing, we might be willing to have a lifetime of incredible suffering. And I know that's how it was for me. Um, any of you that know me at all or read the book I did with Jeff or listen to my videos, yeah, I was severely abused as a child, beaten. My mother kept attempting suicide in front of me. I'd find her naked in the tub, full of blood. She was trying to cut her wrist. She didn't know how to do it right. Or sleeping pills or various things. I had a very bad childhood and adulthood. I'm retired now, so I guess I'm kind of a post-adulthood degenerate now. I'm free to make videos, so that's good. But no, I'd have to say that probably 80% of my life was pure unbearable, soul wrenching, body destroying agony. Yay! But I'm better. Yeah, I'm much better. That's a quote from Python. I'm much better. And apparently, for the sake of the last 10 years I spent with my lovely wife, and yeah, of course, she's dying of end stage heart failure. Kev can't just have a nice little happy time. That's not in the script, but well, I'm still happy. She's still happy, but yeah, watching her die in front of me. I mean, everybody seems to die in front of me. Oh man, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, I died once. You probably heard that story. It was just perfectly lovely when I was dead. It could be more lovely here, of course. It really could. It really could. Uh, my primary contention is that everything we're experiencing here is a read only, and I use a technology term, knowing some of my friends who are, analytical idealists, whatnot. Well, sort of an analytical idealist myself. But if I say we live in a read only data archive, makes it sound like we're just a computer program. Well, you know, we're artifacts of intelligence, cosmic intelligence, and cosmic mind. And one of the best metaphors there is for that is that computer type stuff. People understand that. So it's a metaphor. Excuse me. It's a metaphor, but it's a really damn good one. Now, is this computer program we're a part of, so to speak, really, nuts and bolts, this and that? Well, on one level of presentation, you see, I was a computer guy for 31 years. All people seem to need data processing. That's the little jingle you say to memorize the levels of the network stack. On one level of the stack, sure, nuts and bolts everywhere. Have a blast. Tables, bodies. Yeah, sure, why not? It's a presentation layer. Nuts and bolts UFOs? Hell, they'll even crash for you. Yeah, there's thousands of them. They just crash everywhere. Yeah. But is that important? Well, no, it's actually not important. It's a little blip in an information-based movie. So whether those things really happen or they don't happen, all that weird UFO stuff, it's kind of irrelevant. Yeah, no, it's irrelevant. Yep. I mean, let's say they were reverse engineered and somebody got some Omega death beam out of it and they just destroyed all life on Earth. Well, guess what? I'm not saying that's not important. That sure is important. It would make a really sucky movie. By the way, that movie does exist. I've seen it. We've all seen it actually, but that's another subject. So, and I'm not belittling the beauty, the poignancy, the very specialness of being in a movie. We all love it. We must. We're here. We all knew there was this massive suffering headed our way, but we're here anyway. Yeah. Now, some people say we're trapped in a cave, we're trapped in a hell world. Sure, you can look at it that way. But now, actually, I'm getting into the next video I was going to make after this one. Let's get back on topic. I don't know if I ever have a topic, actually. So, first I make a video that says I'm not a spiritual teacher, and then the next day, Jeff Kripal comes out in a video to, I don't know how to pronounce her name, aren't I pathetic? Mayim, the actress from I won't even try her last name. Mayim from Big Bang Theory, brilliant lady, has a PhD in neurology, something like that. And he was on her show and he was talking about me. And my buddy Jeff, he said Mayim was asking about me in chapter 3 of the book. And Jeff said, well, Kevin's my teacher. Well, dang, just the day before I put out a video saying I am not a spiritual teacher. Yeah, well, the good guy's got to, learn to coordinate better or something. Or Jeff's always kind of egging me on a little bit. That's what friends do. Like I egg him on too. It's called friendship, But sure, fine. I'm a mentor. What's a mentor? Well, I guess someone who does part-time teaching. Now, why do I do part-time teaching and not full-time teaching? Well, I got other things to do. How about that? Yeah. I mean, once you solve your own personal riddle about the nature of life, the universe, and everything, and yeah, that's Douglas Adams, man, that guy was genius. Once you solve your own personal riddle, well, it's like the spiritual people say, once the horses escape from the corral, well, then you don't need to focus on corral escaping methods anymore. They're not worth anything. I mean, at least not for you. So you can either be an asshole, you're the free horse now. You can just run around, kick up your heels, have a great time, and leave everyone else suffering. Or, like I'm always saying, you can document your work. Nobody ever documents their work. All these great spiritual masters throughout history, they don't document their work. You know what I call that? I call that not finishing the job. Now, Jeff's always telling me, I talk to Jeff a lot. He's always telling me, Kev, you're just too hard on religion and spirituality. Well, I want to say what his next statement is, but that wouldn't be nice. It's funny, though. I'll let him say it someday. And yeah, I'm hard. Do I want to be hard? Is that being hard a sign that I'm some egotistical know-it-all? Yeah, about half my audience thinks that. Yeah. That's a pretty easy dismissive thing to say. If you want to stop listening to someone you don't agree with or you're afraid of inside you because it'll wreck your entire life because, oh my God, you might have to grow up or something or you know, stop your present movie role. Maybe consider, oh, look, there's the camera, there's the projector, there's the voice pickups. Oh, maybe you are part of a larger world than you want to admit to. But sometimes being ignorant is, yeah, ignorant. A lot of ignorance going around. Sometimes being ignorant is more pleasant, more fun. And in matter of fact, I have nothing against ignorance. Now, in a democracy, ignorance is just toxic and fatal. If most people in the country don't even have any idea what's going on in all the halls of power, here we're getting close to that politics thing again. But everybody who has read the Constitution or the founding fathers or actually knows something, they all know the founding fathers said this, various of them. For democracy to work, you need an educated and informed voter base. And we've lost that because fake news has absolutely dominated our country. And I'm just not going to say who's fake. I'm sure most of you know who I'm referring to here. Like one or two people in particular. I'm not going to go into that. And why am I not going to go into that? Well, one, I don't want to crap up the channel. I don't want it to be about politics. It's not. And here's the other thing. It's the great fallback. Everything we're experiencing now happened in the future, and we're reliving it, reviewing it as a read-only data archive. So ain't shit I can do about the current circumstances. Excuse me. And there's really not shit any of us can do about it. Now, does that mean? And here I'm bringing up something again from outside the scope of the video. But should we just sit on our ass and let the people that want to transfer all our wealth into their back pocket and hand us over to a foreign country? Do we want to just say nothing about that, do nothing about that? Well, I'm not suggesting that. Thing about the future, you see, is we won't know what our actions accomplish if we don't try. So let's say somebody did all this amazing stuff, say in the United States politically or whatever, some million, man march, million woman march would be better. They're the ones getting all shit on more than anyone. But let's say it actually made a difference. Well, it actually probably hasn't ever made a difference in the past. Still remember Jon Stewart. Man, I love that guy, but he had like 1 million people show up and then he didn't know what to do with them. He didn't really have a message and it was kind of a waste. Sorry, Jon Stewart, I adore you. And yeah, if you ever see this, you can make fun of me. Yeah, you can have me on and make fun of me. Whatever. No, it makes all the difference in the world. Actually giving a damn and actually doing something. That's part of the reason I'm here on this channel. But the only way to find out if it's what was already done in the future is to give it a try. If it doesn't work, well, guess what? That wasn't what was done in the future. And if it works out, well, guess what? That's what was done in the future. So, all that future business is not an excuse to sit on your ass, not at all. But you know what? It can save you just all this stress. Because if you try your whole life and you fail at everything, guess what? That's what flowed from the future, and you're living it. And you agreed to it. You're here, right? And I know people say, "Oh, I never asked to be born." Well, from a limited egoic perspective, from a social persona perspective, that's correct. And I understand that perspective. It seems kind of obviously true, but it's not entirely true. Well, anyway, I've been babbling on about all the usual topics. But just back to, okay, fine, I'm a mentor. Okay, fine, I'm a part-time, I won't say it, you know what? Yeah, I do some mentoring. And anyone can be a mentor. They can mentor their children. They can mentor a stranger on the street. some guy is starving out there. So you sit with him, you put your arms around his shoulder, you talk to him for a while. You're being a mentor. Even if you don't say much. Mentoring doesn't even need to be about words so much. Yeah, fine. I'm a mentor. Fine. That's something my wife and I say. It's from some clip somewhere. We are so affected by media and entertainment and art, and some good, some bad. The good and bad are kind of silly terms too. But anyway, see, I'm a mentor, and I'm owning that. And well, here we are. Loud, obnoxious, egotistical Kevin, as people say. If they want me to be that person, then yeah, that's what they'll perceive. And here I am. Alrighty. So yeah, I'll be doing some mentoring. I actually enjoy it. I go to the grocery store. I went to the grocery store yesterday. Beautiful little Mexican grocery store not far from us, and got into this lovely conversation with the butcher, who I had a Mexican background, and we just had a lovely conversation. I could talk to almost anyone, unless they're spewing hate nonsense. In other words, I can't talk to about. Here we go. I'm doing it again. I can't talk to about a third of the United States. That really annoys me. I won't say what third. Anyway, that's about it for this particular video. I hope that clears things up a bit. So, wish you a fine day, and I'll see you in a few minutes again. Bye bye.